guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on Charlotte Tilbury's entire Pillow Talk collection. Now we're going to go through the OG original Pillow Talk collection products, and then we're also going to be talking about the expanded products, which include the medium and the intense versions of the OG classics. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, I talk about high-end and luxury makeup exclusively, and I also test a ton of Charlotte Tilbury products. So when she released this extension, I definitely hopped onto her website and ordered whatever I could find. Now keep in mind, all of these things are purchased by me with the exception of one thing, and that was gifted to me by a subscriber. So I will definitely let you know what that item is when we get to it. But essentially, I have absolutely everything in my collection right now in front of me that Charlotte Tilbury has slapped the word Pillow Talk on. And basically, I'm gonna let you know if it's even worth the hype or if it's something you should definitely pass on. Now, without further ado, let's get right on into this video, and let's start with the Pillow Talk original collection. Now, the first item, of course, that she released, I believe, this is definitely a couple of years ago now, and that is the OG original Pillow Talk Matte Revolution lipstick. Now, Charlotte Tilbury does have a couple lipstick formulas. The Matte Revolution one is one that has more of a matte finish. It's still incredibly creamy on the lips, but still has more of a matte finish overall look, versus the Kissing formula, which is creamier, much more of like a satiny smooth kind of finish on the lips, and certainly not like the Matte Revolution line. So she does have the two. This is the original Pillow Talk shade right here. This, you guys, is what basically took her brand by storm and why she branded the entire rest of the collection after this one lipstick. I have owned one previously where I used it up completely, and then I just purchased a second one. So this is definitely a lipstick that I will put in my collection probably until the end of time. It's a very wearable, rosy, nude lipstick, and ever since she created that lipstick, I have been a happy camper. It's one of the reasons why I discovered the brand entirely. Now, the next item that she branded with the Pillow Talk branding is the blush. Now, this is the Cheek to Chic blush in the shade Pillow Talk. The way that you use Charlotte Tilbury blushes is a little bit different than some of the other brands. Basically, you swirl the outside rim first onto the cheekbone, and then you swish a little bit in the center shade here, and you can pop it right on the apple of the cheek if you would like. Now, that is just how she does it, but you can switch them and mix them both together. Just use one or the other. It's really up to you. This is also a very beautiful blush and something that works on my skin tone really well. Also, one that has been in my collection for a long time. So this is definitely a great option too, especially if you have light skin and especially if you are a beginner, because this is a nice blush that doesn't go super pigment heavy right off the bat. You can use a fluffier brush, you can use a denser brush, and still have quite a bit of control. So this is something that I really, really love, and this is actually nicknamed the boob blushes because they do resemble a sort of body part. Now, the next thing that she branded, of course, is the Luxury Eye Palette. This is a quad, and this is also part of a collection that she does have. So she has these luxury eye palettes in her collection that are just 4 shades. These quads usually comprise of 1 shimmer, 2 mattes, and then we have a pop shade in the bottom left corner, which is essentially a topper. It does have a little bit of color pigment to it, but keep in mind this is incredibly sheer and meant to have just a little bit of shimmer to the eye look. So this is typically what she would recommend you apply with your fingertip, and that is why this particular pan, in my opinion, can get to a hard pan kind of quality very, very quickly. You do have a ton of oils on your finger, and even if you wash your hands before, which I do recommend, you will find that the powder will eventually get hardened on, and that means that it just gets really compressed into that one little pan. So I suggest just kind of putting your hand over the pan a little bit to kind of fluff it up a little bit. You can also use a piece of clear tape and just kind of take the piece of tape over that pan to kind of remove the first layer, which is the hard pan section. But to be honest with you, this is the major downfall of this quad in particular, because it's so prone to being hard pan right there. It is something that I do caution you guys on. Definitely not a deal breaker thing, but something to keep in mind. All 3 of these items I do suggest are very much worth their price point. The Charlotte Tilbury price point is incredibly expensive. She is a luxury brand, but these 3 OG products are definitely bestsellers for a reason. Now let's talk about the Pillow Talk Luxury Palette of Pops. This is the gift I received from a subscriber, so thank you so much. If you have been around my channel for a while, you do know that I wasn't actually typically planning on purchasing this one. This is the next step, though, in the kind of Pillow Talk evolution, so to speak. This is one of the new extension pieces, but it's been out since about Christmas time last year. And this is the Luxury Palette of Pops. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this is essentially a quad of the pop shade from the first palette I talked about, which is basically the shimmery kind of sheer top coat, basically, of sparkle and shine that you put over top of your eye looks with a finger application. You can also use a brush, but do know that you'll get some fallout with a brush. Try to use a denser brush or sprayer brush for sure. But this is something that she actually does recommend you apply with a fingertip. So once again, you may get hard pan pretty quickly with something like this. Now, these shades are gorgeous. As you can tell, they are going through the Pillow Talk kind of ensemble, if you will. She has pinks, and then she has kind of like plummy pinks as well. And you'll see what I mean. She likes to deepen the Pillow Talk line by adding a bit of a plum undertone, which will be really well suited for medium to deep skin tones. This to me, because it was a gift from a subscriber, I will be keeping it, but I also feel like if you are looking to purchase this item, I wouldn't personally, because of the hard pan aspect of the luxury quads in general. I do like the, you know, top coat, shimmery top coat idea, but I don't like the price point for something that just has 4 of those types of shades, which can be so prone to hard pan. So I do think that this is very beautiful. I think that if you are into the pop shades in general and you're a big fan, this will definitely be potentially a good buy for you. But if you're looking for something that's just like a splash of sparkle every now and then, this is overkill for a user like that, and definitely a skip. So like I said, I will cherish this gift from my subscriber, but if I went out and purchased it myself, I would skip it. I almost forgot to talk about the lip liner. Now we're going to talk about this lip liner with also comparing the other 2 lip liners, the medium and the intense, which is also the new. But this, you guys, is a really nice lip liner too. It's very soft and creamy and long wearing on the lips. It does pair very well with the original Pillow Talk. So this lip cheat is the lip liner. It is in the shade Pillow Talk, and it is meant to work together with the original OG Pillow Talk. You can use it obviously with other lipsticks, but this is definitely an item that I do think is worth the money for lip liners in general, and the ease of use. This is a great product to own. Some of the other just random lip products that she's kind of thrown in. The first thing is the Lip Lustre. This is also in the shade Pillow Talk. This, you guys, is something that is in my collection, but will most likely be passed on because the Lip Lustre formula is not my favorite. Although it is pigmented, it is sticky and a little bit on the thicker side, basically. So to me, it doesn't have a nice, comfortable, glossy feel on the lips. In fact, when I apply it to my lips, it almost drags my lip as I'm applying it. So to me, it's not worth the price point, and I've always not really been a fan of the Lip Lustre formula. I've tried a couple of the shades now in this formula. Definitely not something I would recommend. I personally prefer a smoother, glossy finish, one that is more lightweight, that can just glide over the lips. And the pigmentation, to me, although important, I would rather be able to layer a product instead of having it so thickly pigmented that I have to like scrape it on. I do want to talk about another product that I'm going to also say I think you should skip on. This is the Superstar Lips Glossy Starlit Lipstick. There we go. What a mouthful. Also in the shade Pillow Talk. Now you will be able to distinguish this product from the lipsticks because this one is taller and skinnier. Now, these ones I think were her attempt of really making a very sheer, glossy lipstick slash gloss kind of hybrid product where you have the pigmentation of a lipstick but the shine and the lightweightness of a gloss. And to be honest with you, I don't think this is something worth the money either. This is incredibly expensive, once again at a luxury price point, and I don't know. I think this is something that actually, when it translates in the swatch, it actually more so looks like the Pillow Talk medium shade. But the reason I say that is because the formula on this, although glossy, although pigmented, much more slip to the lips than the Lip Lustre. This is one that I don't think wears as long on the lips. It seems to wear away pretty quickly. I would much rather put on one of her lipsticks, maybe a lip liner underneath to give that longevity kind of feel to the lips. And These are also very comfortable to wear, so I don't feel a need to own one of these products like in between, because I feel like I would run through this so quickly just because of how lightweight it is. Although pigmented, comfortable, doesn't last at all on the lips. So this is also a pass. Now we are doing so well, I feel like we're already kind of going through the things that are worth it and the things that aren't worth it, so that's awesome. Now the next thing I want to talk about is now like the most original extension products. I think I'm going to start off with a hit so that we don't have to go through too much negativity. This is also a limited edition product, and this is the Pillow Talk Eye Palette. Now this is much more of a long, big palette. As you can see, has the same packaging as these like Starry Eyes palettes. So you can see they're long and skinny, just like this one here. And this one is limited edition. So keep in mind, this is not going to stay forever. This, I think, is a beautiful palette. So this has a gorgeous color scheme. Once again, you will see the swatches as well. But this is something to me that would be perfectly suited for someone that does not have a ton of Charlotte Tilbury products. Unless you are a fan, you are a collector, whatever, you're looking for everything that you could possibly use in the Pillow Talk collection, that is totally your call. But this is something for just like, if you're looking for something unique, this is not super unique. This is definitely still a pinky, peachy, brown palette. Charlotte is very known for this, and she puts out shades like this in slight variations every single year. So even if you miss out on this palette, do know and be confident in the fact that she'll create something very similar soon. If you do decide to purchase that eyeshadow palette though, I don't think you'll be disappointed as long as you think you'll be able to use it and put some time into it and really dig into it, create some looks, because the quality is there. Now the next thing I want to show you is the Intense. This is the Pillow Talk Intense blush, and I'm going to show you side by side from the original one plus some swatches. This to me is a blush that now we are getting into. I tried to wear this blush today, and this is definitely getting too dark for me and my skin tone. So here we have the Intense on the right here, the originals on the left. These two blushes, again, consistent in quality, consistent in control, but of course this one over on my right is much more intense. Now I did try to wear it today, and this is like the lightest amount on my cheek, you guys. I even had to powder it down because it got really pigmented really fast on my light skin. So I do not recommend this Intense blush if you are fair or light skin toned. I don't think this will be one that will be very easy for you to use. It will be a lot more finicky with you. It will get pigmented very quick just because of the shade. But this, you guys, beautiful on medium to deep skin tones. It does have a glowiness to it. It's not super matte or anything, but it's just beautiful. It glides onto the cheek very well, and it does make your cheeks look amazing. Now this is another one that I'm going to say you can skip on, and you might be surprised. This is the Pillow Talk eyeliner. This is another one of the extension products. This to me is interesting. It is a plummy brown kind of eyeliner. Now the creaminess is there. I do think that this is worth it for people that love a creamy eyeliner. They want a plummy kind of brown color to try, but this personally is not my cup of tea just because of the fact that I am really not a pencil eyeliner type girl. So this is literally a preference thing. I don't think this is necessarily a bad product, but I do think if you have certain eye colors, this may appear more reddish on your eyelid versus a plum. So keep in mind. And just because I don't see myself wearing a color like this is probably why I'm going to say pass on it, but only if you have preferences like myself. My eyeliner preferences are pretty slim. I don't wear a ton more than black, to be honest, or I'll wear the odd like peachy on my waterline, but I am not a heavy eyeliner girl when it comes to variety of colors. I really like black, and that's pretty much it. So this isn't necessarily made for someone like me, but if you love plummy colors and stuff, could be worth a try. Now let's get into the new Pillow Talk lipsticks. Now we do have one that she's created for medium skin tones. This is Pillow Talk Medium. This is the shade that I am wearing today on my lips. So as you can see on my fair skin tone, this is kind of pulling off as like a berry plum color. So it is getting fairly dark on my light skin already. Now this medium Pillow Talk lipstick is also from the Matte Revolution line, so do expect it's going to be a consistent formula from that. I've tested it out, and it is a similar Matte Revolution lipstick compared to the rest. It has that creaminess to it, but it's a still matte finish. The Intense lipstick, though, has now switched formulas. Very interesting to me. Let me know down below your thoughts on why maybe she has done this. But the Kissing formula is in the Intense lipstick, or the deepest lipstick in the Pillow Talk collection. And I'm not sure if that was just because she couldn't do a shade this dark in the Matte Revolution for it to look as good or perform as well. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But either way, the Kissing lipstick is very nice as well. It just has much more of a creaminess to it, less of a matte finish. But either way, these are gorgeous shades, you guys. And as you can see from the swatches, they are very, very beautiful. We do have lip liners, of course, in the extension, and the medium one, of course, has more of like a plumminess to it compared to the original. You'll see in the swatches here what I mean and how they're kind of linked up to their lipsticks as well. The Intense lip liner is quite intense. It is quite a deep brown color, so keep in mind the difference between the Intense lip liner and the lipstick is actually quite a bit. But overall, I do think that now you've got some variety when it comes to picking up the lip liner that would suit your skin tone best, the lipstick that would suit your skin tone best, the blush that would suit your skin tone best. We do have still the eyeshadow palette that is still more of like muted whites and pinks and stuff like that. And then we have the palette now that has some dimension to it too. So I do think she's done a good job with inclusivity for this expansion. And of course, I let you know which products I definitely think you should never really check out because they're just not worth the price tag. Anyways, guys, what do you think of the new Pillow Talk collection? Are you just kind of sick and tired of everything, or are you into it? Do let me know down below. Until my next video, guys, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us.